Transmission received, seeking translation, message decoded, strategy initiated. The rules of the game have changed. There is no turning back. Bitcoin is a cheat code to the infinite game. A quest for wealth accumulation, rigged for centuries, now has a new strategy. Like reinventing a new chess piece to the board. A king of kings that controls how the game is played. There is no turning back. We are changing the game forever. Every Bitcoin purchase is part ownership in the network, simultaneously increasing demand and reducing the available supply. Imagine buying into a royal family, one of power and total wealth. That is the Bitcoin network. That is all of those who hold Bitcoin, every long-term believer. Every hodler together redefines wealth and power. The purpose of wealth isn't to exist, it's to always remain. Stay competitive. A path to financial independence is paved with the Bitcoin hodlers. We have the power. We have the code. We have the future. Every single satoshi you stack, every single transaction you make, you're not just buying a digital asset. You're building a new financial ecosystem. Ignore the FUD, ignore the naysayers, and hold on for dear life. Because this isn't just about getting rich quick, it's about securing your future. It's about taking back control. Think of every Bitcoin purchase as pulling a satoshi out of circulation. Every satoshi you hold is a satoshi they can't manipulate. It's a vote against the old system. Every investment into Bitcoin is add pressure towards inevitable supply shock. Buyers are reducing the float, removing Bitcoin from the market and out of circulation. We're driving scarcity, and scarcity drives value. When you buy Bitcoin, you strengthen the network. You become part owner of this global Bitcoin bank. Bitcoin remains a tool for financial independence, giving individuals more control over their money. Discipline and patience. This true awakening is simple. Through studying and understanding Bitcoin, a new structure of money, finance, and value begins to unravel. Bitcoin is worth all the money in existence. Continue to stack satoshis. Bitcoin remains a tool for financial independence, giving individuals more control over their money. Discipline and patience. This true awakening is simple. Through studying and understanding Bitcoin, a new structure of money, finance, and value begins to unravel. Bitcoin is worth all the money in existence. Continue to stack satoshis. Hodling, for the long term, regardless of price fluctuations, on the belief that Bitcoin's value will continue to rise. Buying into the network strengthens the community. As it's more resilient, you become part of the network. A revolutionary technology that has the potential to democratize finance, providing true wealth and ownership, accessible to everyone. Are you tired of the rigged financial system? Tired of your hard-earned money being debased, inflated away by forces beyond your control? Governments and corporations manipulate, they inflate, they abuse control. But it's time to think outside the box. All assets are meant to be stores of value. However, all assets are not created equal. Gold, real estate, bonds, equities. Each serves as a temporary vehicle for wealth to withstand time. But every one of these assets has eroded its value. Inflation bleeds bonds dry. Real estate is subject to seizure, taxation, and decay. Gold, heavy and static, is vulnerable to the tides of history. Equities are mere fiat-backed shares in systems built atop a crumbling monetary foundation, an unsteady market that can crash on unpredictable earnings. There are needs for a new strategy. The traditional financial system, anchored in fiat currencies and equities, faces critical challenges. Fiat currencies are susceptible to manipulation and devaluation, impacting the value of equity shares tied to them. Concerns about excessive debt, inflation, and eroding trust in central banks weaken the system's foundation. Furthermore, unpredictable market swings and earnings volatility make equities alone an unreliable long-term wealth preservation strategy. This instability drives the search for alternatives. Notably, Bitcoin and its decentralized nature reduces reliance on central authorities, offering a hedge against fiat system vulnerabilities. Bitcoin's potential develops a novel, uncorrelated asset class, offering diversification away from complete reliance on corporate earnings and quarterly revenues that once held significant risks and extreme price volatility within the market. Bitcoin fixes this, evolving the market and patching security vulnerabilities, healing the market of its flaws, and ensuring a compelling alternative to a potentially fracturing traditional system. Strategy understands Bitcoin, knowing it is not just the best digital decentralized capital. Bitcoin is a bank of compressed fiat that generates true value. Bitcoin is absolute scarcity, a monetary force so powerful it reorders the entire financial hierarchy. 21 million Bitcoin. That's it, forever. While fiat currencies multiply infinitely, Bitcoin mathematically approaches zero issuance, a supply schedule so perfect, so unalterable that it renders every other asset obsolete as a store of value. Absolutely. Bitcoin's scarcity is an inescapable mathematical certainty. With only 21 million coins ever to exist, it's inevitable that demand will exceed supply. Right now, the world hasn't fully grasped what this means, but when it does, the supply shock will be epic. Think about it. 8 billion people, but only 21 million bitcoins. And let's be real, not even all 21 million will be available. Millions are already lost forever, reducing the true circulating supply even further. That means when the world wakes up, when the billionaires, hedge funds, global corporations, and nation-states realize they need to secure their place in the hardest money ever created, Bitcoin won't just appreciate. It will undergo hypermonetization at a level we've never seen before. At first, Bitcoin ownership will be a flex, a status symbol for the ultra-wealthy, like a Ferrari or a Basquiat painting. Imagine a world where a single Bitcoin is worth $2 million, and every rich man on a first date casually brags about being an early adopter, acting like they saw it all coming. That's phase 1, Bitcoin as the ultimate luxury asset, the most desirable collector's item on Earth. But then, phase 2 kicks in. Escape velocity. Bitcoin surpasses gold's market cap of $18 trillion, not because it's useful, not because it's being transacted daily, but simply because it is the scarcest, most desirable financial asset ever created. A single Bitcoin is now worth $200 million, and still, people are fighting to get their hands on one. The price becomes meaningless. It is simply the asset that everyone wants, but almost no one can own outright. And that's before Bitcoin's actual use case even comes into play. The Lightning Network, sovereign adoption, AI-driven payments, all of these will eventually activate. But Bitcoin doesn't even need them to reach this level of scarcity-driven price appreciation. Scarcity alone is enough. At this point, corporations and nation-states continue playing game theory chess, rushing to secure Bitcoin reserves like they once did with gold. But Bitcoin is not gold. It's better. It's faster, portable, unconfiscatable, and mathematically finite. No government can inflate it. No central bank can print it. No one can seize it unless you let them. In the end, Bitcoin will not just be money. It will be the singularity of value itself, the final form of wealth, the asset of kings, the store of value so scarce that entire economies will be forced to bend to its gravitational pull. The logical conclusion? Supply shock. Think about it. There are 8 billion people in the world, not including potential AI agents able to custody Bitcoin. There are only 21 million Bitcoin. That's only 0.0026 Bitcoin per person, before we even account for lost coins. The world's collective allocation to Bitcoin today is just 0.05% of global wealth. What happens when this percentage inevitably rises? What happens when Bitcoin overtakes gold, bonds, and fiat reserves? Do the math. Bitcoin doesn't just store purchasing power, it grows into power itself, electric money. It is the first and only asset in human history with a built-in guarantee of increasing scarcity, escape velocity. What does this mean for you? It means that every second you hesitate, the game theory of adoption plays out. Bitcoin isn't waiting for permission. It isn't stopping for doubters. It isn't interested in your disbelief. The world is waking up to a reality where Bitcoin is not just the best savings technology ever created. It is the only savings technology designed to survive indefinitely. The question is no longer if Bitcoin will win. The question is simple. Did you buy enough? End transmission. Bitcoin is worth all the money in existence. Bitcoin fixes the money. It is absolute scarcity. A monetary force so powerful it reorders the entire financial hierarchy. It renders every other asset obsolete as a store of value. A single Bitcoin worth $2 million, Bitcoin surpasses gold's market cap of $18 trillion, simply because it is the scarcest, most desirable financial asset ever created. And still, people are fighting to get their hands on one. The price becomes meaningless. A single Bitcoin is worth $200 million. It is simply the asset that everyone wants. Bitcoin will not just be money. Engineers will continue to develop Bitcoin utility, securing the Lightning Network, sovereign adoption, AI-driven payments. All of these will eventually activate, but Bitcoin doesn't even need them to reach this level of scarcity-driven price appreciation. Scarcity alone is enough. At this point, corporations and nation-states continue playing game theory chess, rushing to secure Bitcoin reserves like they once did with gold. But Bitcoin is not gold. It's better. It's faster, portable, unconfiscatable, and mathematically finite. No government can inflate it. No central bank can print it. No one can seize it unless you let them. The final form of wealth, the asset of kings, the supply shock is coming. And when it does, there will only be two kinds of people: those who own Bitcoin and those who wish they did.